I'm going to tell you a story. The first thing you have to understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. You can call me Oracle, because I'm the one who's talking to you. Welcome to the cult. Oh, little dims. Still being little dims. Anyway, try to ignore little dims. By such as I mean, try to make note of little dims and then dismiss little dims's attempted influence because it's trying to be slick, trying to do a little Samohana while I'm talking because it's stupid and I think it'll work. Alright, so, as I stated in the previous video, I'm going to circle back from page 90 back to page 19. It covers some of the basic stuff that I was already pretty well acquainted with, that I sort of glossed over to get to learning things about sentences. That was more learning for me, and so this is more of like a review for me and sort of like basic information for anyone who's been following around. Is like I'd kind of like to know more about like basic stuff that he's kind of glossed over. So Sanskrit language. Our core lessons will teach you about all of Sanskrit at a basic level. Together, these core lessons will help you build a strong tree trunk for the rest of your studies. First lesson will focus on Sanskrit sounds, what they are, how they're announced, and how they will affect each other. We will then learn some of the sound change rules that Sanskrit often uses. Here's a simple example of a sound change rule. Krishna na yudhyate. Krishna na yudhyate. Krishna does not fight. Don't worry about the details here. We'll explain them later. Once we finish learning about Sanskrit sounds and sound change rules, we'll learn about basic Sanskrit sentences. We'll also learn 3 basic word types that Sanskrit uses. First, we'll learn about naming words like, Krishna. Next, we'll learn about action words like fight. And finally, we'll learn about miscellaneous words like not. Those are covered in the nominals, verbs, and uninflected previous episodes. We'll end our core lessons by learning how to create new words in Sanskrit. That is something that we already covered in the previous episode. Together, these core lessons will give us a complete view of Sanskrit grammar. Once you finish these core lessons and know them well, you can explore the rest of our guide in whatever order you like, as I will. Basic vowels. Sanskrit students traditionally begin their studies by learning about the different Sanskrit sounds. We will learn our core lessons, start our core lessons in the same way. Why is it so important to study Sanskrit sounds? Because Sanskrit sounds often transform due to sound change rules. If we study Sanskrit sounds closely, then we can better use and understand these sound change rules. For that reason, half of our core lessons are about sounds, how to pronounce them and what they are like, and how they affect each other. I might actually need to wait for little dims to be completely gone before I finish this, but I'll give it a shot anyway. First, a note on scripts. A script is a way of writing down a language's sounds. In modern times, most people write Sanskrit in the Devanagari script. In the West, many people also use Romanized Sanskrit, which uses an extended version of the Latin alphabet. That's basically if you're writing down Sanskrit words in English or with the English alphabet, because it uses the Latin alphabet. With Arabic numerals. Most of the Sanskrit in our guide is written in both Devanagari and in Romanized Sanskrit. You can use a different script by accessing our online. Oh yeah, I got this guide from learnsanskrit.org/guide. For the record. And I'll be showing you some Devanagari. Here's some examples of Devanagari. With the Romanized Sanskrit next to it. I showed these in a previous episode. I'm like 90% sure. How do we make different sounds? When we speak, a stream of air flows out of our lungs. And okay, so this is actually kind of really important. Because this talks about the phonology of making the words, like actually making making the sounds in terms of position of airflow in the mouth. So when we speak, a stream of air flows out of our lungs through our mouth and nose. If we move our tongue or lips and other parts of our mouth, we can modify this flow of air and create different sounds. Simple and open sounds like A and O are called vowels. When we pronounce them, our breath flows straight out of our mouth, and by moving our tongue and lips, we create different vowels. A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y in English. The first Sanskrit vowel is A. A is a simple and relaxed sound. Ah. Points of pronunciation. Okay, so if we change the position of our tongue and lips, we can modify the basic vowel A and create other vowels. How might we modify this sound? One way is by changing the point of pronunciation we use. Sanskrit uses 5 basic points of pronunciation, and they're in an image that they have in here that I can't really readily reproduce, but so the A sound, back of the throat, so it's color-coded. Basically, it's blue, orange, yellow, green up near where the teeth line is, and then blue in the opening of the mouth, like at the lips. So, in progression, these points are the soft palate, which is the soft fleshy area at the back of your mouth, the hard palate, which is the hard and bony area that is sometimes called the roof of the mouth, the edge of the roof of the mouth near the hard bump near our teeth, the base of our teeth, and the lips. When we pronounce A, our tongue rests near our soft palate. Well, if we change where our tongue rests in our mouth, we can create different vowel sounds. For example, we can move the middle of our tongue closer to the hard palate. E. That's basically the I sound. Or the top of the tongue that rests near the bump on the roof of our mouth. So here's an interesting thing about Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, R and L essentially are vowels. Yep. That is very, very hard for someone like approaching from English to work my mind around. R and L, huh? Well, that's just kind of how it is. So, or the tongue might rest near the bump on the roof of our mouth. Or it might rest near the base of the teeth. Oh. Or we might use our lips instead. Oh. And those are the 5 basic sounds. By using the 5 points of pronunciation, we create 5 different vowel sounds. And by changing our pronunciation in other ways, we create many other kinds of sounds. You know what? That's good for an 8-minute video. I'm gonna wrap up for there because, like, that's a little bit. This is a little bit odd and technical, and I'm still a little bit annoyed about Little Dim's refusing to shut up. But that's not really the point. The point is, I feel like that's enough to, like, let y'all digest. So, this is Oracle gonna sing himself out, dream safely out there in the weave all throughout, and that's from me to thee. Dream safely out there from Oracle me.